everybody and welcome to Amphlett Reviews, and today we're doing another Hong Kong content review for 88 Films' new lineup for The Seventh Curse in this fantastic, glorious deluxe packaging edition, which is always stellar from 88 Films. They really are pumping out these fantastic editions and just really give it the 5-star treatment to movies that I've never heard of, films I've always been quite curious about, giving them brand new 4K scans, uncut versions, also brand new extras, booklet, poster, the full 9 yards. And with this director in particular, the guy who did Erotic Ghost Story, also did Story of Ricky, which I've got a bit more appreciation as the time has gone on since rewatching it, and also did The Cat, which I watched at the start of the year, which hasn't got a deluxe edition as of yet. Complete bonkers movie. Got a bit of appreciation for the director now, so I kind of understood his style, understood what he's all about in the sense, and he's definitely a guy that's having a lot of fun with his films and likes to kind of hop around different genres and experiment with different kind of characters and practical effects and just kind of push the boundaries a little bit. And I kind of like that. It's quite interesting to kind of see the evolution of his kind of career a little bit and seeing the last kind of bookend 3 movies and now seeing the earliest of his films, which is The Seventh Curse, which is during the late 80s this one was released. But this is a fantastic edition from 88 Films. I'll show you there. Brand new artwork by Compu Bob, which is absolutely fantastic. I'll show you a bit more there. There you go. And you get the reversible slipcase, which is great. Alternative artwork there, which is fantastic. Always like to have a bit of alternative artwork. And you've also got the artwork cards. My friend Fanatical Dragon has got a bit more in depth in kind of this box set edition, so if you want to see all the art cards and a bit more of the interior kind of design a little bit, please go and check out his video. There'll be a link in the description below for that. There you go. So as you can see, the disc is missing because I've literally just watched it, and you get a fantastic booklet which really kind of dives into, which I haven't got around to just reading just yet, which I think is the original Hong Kong poster, and I think the brand new artwork poster is alongside it. So they're really taking chances, they're really kind of listening to feedback, and they're saying, what do we have access to, what do people want, and they're literally giving people what they want, some of these crazy batshit movies, and The Seventh Curse is definitely one of them. So let's check out The Seventh Curse. The Seventh Curse was released in 1986, making this the official earliest film I've seen of the director's kind of career up to this point. Obviously, we're doing Erotic Ghost Story, doing Story of Ricky, The Cat, seeing the last kind of 3 bookend of his movies and his kind of career. Now I'm slowly kind of diving way back into his kind of movie set. He did The Peacock King 1 and 2, I believe, which I will track down at some point. I found myself appreciating more of his movies as I've kind of, gone back and rewatched a couple of the ones that I felt were a bit kind of iffy and give a bit more perspective. And nice to have a second opinion now and again and just kind of seeing a different lens, seeing a different point of view and see what these films are trying to actually offer. And watching now at least 4 of his movies, I can tell what type of movies he likes to make. He likes to make really fun B-movies, slight exploitation, practical effects heavy, crazy throwaway movies, nice simple hour-and-a-half movies. Give the audience what they want. They want practical effects, they want blood, they want women, they want all the fun stuff kind of thing in the Hong Kong market and the Western audience as well. Very easily kind of, translate to kind of the Western market, which is why I've heard about Story of Ricky way before I got into kind of Hong Kong cinema. And these films are very easily digestible, they're very easy to kind of watch and just sit down on a Saturday night. I don't believe he's written any of these movies, but I can definitely tell he's adapted these to the best of his creative mindset, and he's just kind of taken the tools of his trade and just like made the most fun ride. You can tell he's having so much fun making these movies. Now that it's kind of clicked a bit more, I'm kind of seeing from his kind of point of view and seeing what he's trying to offer. And these are not kind of Jackie Chan thrillers, these are not Sammo Hung kind of comedy, action, martial art movies. These are just fun B movies. Just insane practical effects, insane kind of wire work, and just wacky characters, wacky villains. Nice hour-and-a-half, simple movie, and it has some really fun stuff in it. And The Seventh Curse is definitely no exception in that regard. And I watched this literally just a few minutes ago, and to kind of get my thoughts and opinions and to kind of get it straight out there. And what did I think of The Seventh Curse? It was pretty damn good. It was pretty goddamn funny. This was really, really good. This was it's weird because this is released in 1986, and obviously his later movies were released in a lot of late 90s, early 90s in a sense. I would have thought this was a combination of his kind of career up to that point, now that I know who he is, in terms of the film he does later on after this film. This has a bit of everything. This has, Alien, it has a bit of Rambo, it has Indiana Jones vibes, it has wacky, you know, kind of magical, kind of mystical, kind of horror, supernatural thing. Definitely inspired for Mr. Vampire, of course. Shin Soo-ho is the main character in this film. He's our kind of main action leader kind of character, or Indiana Jones, or kind of, you know, a doctor from the foreign lands who's kind of, you know, gets wrapped up in this kind of mystical world of kind of, you know, sorcery and witchcraft and magic and demons and all that kind of stuff. And he gets cursed along the way during the kind of the middle act of the film as he kind of talks about his past and what happened to him kind of thing. And he has this kind of like blood curse, which basically has a really unique kind of concept of like bullets kind of popping in a sense, you know, after kind of 7 kind of bursts, his kind of heart will explode in a sense, but they're the bullets of the kind of, you know, minions that got killed at the start of the film, but earlier in the part of the film, and he's kind of swallowed the bullets and mixed with witchcraft and that kind of stuff. And randomly, if he gets too much excited or he gets too much engaged or that kind of stuff, he starts to kind of burst kind of things, like it's like a popping bubble. And it's very interesting, it's very different, very unique, and both find each other quite annoying, both entertaining at the same time, both care about each other and want to help each other, but you know, it never goes any further than that, which is actually quite a nice surprise for a film like this. There is elements of a kind of like a love story between the tropical girl and the Black Dragon, which is a kind of like a tribal leader, someone who is assisting. He's the Rambo character, he's the kick-ass kind of bow and arrow kind of guy, and he's just taking out people left, right and centre. He knows the land, he knows the score, he's got his kind of supporters and his kind of reinforcements, and you've got a fantastic you know, inclusion of Chung Yun-fat in the film, which actually is just really fun. He's kind of a limited kind of performance in it. He's in it more than I think. I wouldn't call him a cameo. I would say he's a kind of a third of a fourth character in the film, supporting character. But he gets some really kind of nice kick-ass sequences, including a rocket launcher, which is great. He certainly has a limited amount of screen time in the film. He definitely is a memorable character, and I wish they did a little bit more with him, because he's clearly someone who knows about witchcraft, who knows about these kind of dark, mystical kind of black magic forces, and I wish there was a really cool sequence in between him and the Grand Wizard. I think there's a bit of a missed opportunity there, similar to kind of like maybe Big Trouble in Little China, in a sense, you know, my black magic versus my superior kind of, you know, white kind of good magic, positive magic in a sense. I wish there was a little bit of that in the film. But it's fine, it's no big deal kind of thing. The opening of the film I think is really interesting and really kind of funny. I like the fact it's kind of a story within a story. You know, each character is telling it a kind of their own kind of piece a little bit kind of thing, and you know, where kind of each character ended up being. There's a really funny joke at the start of the film that really kind of got me straight away. But the special ops unit say that there's robbers inside, please be careful, you know, they've got guns, they're dangerous, and you've got this, the police officer on the other end of the walkie-talkie that's saying like, you know, oh, we'll be fine, and he gets shot in the head straight away. There's some really good timing jokes in the film, which I thought was very fast and very funny, very quick, and you know, some of the jokes in the film really do nail it really well, and there's some almost inspired a little bit of Jackie Chan's kind of humour a little bit towards the kind of the second and third act of the film, and it gets really serious, and then it gets really kind of mystical and over the top and silly, and you know, heavy practical effects work with the ghost child, and then you've got the Grand Wizard, and then you've got the old Ancestor kind of thing, which is a mixture of like, I would say a knockoff version of Alien, kind of the skeleton, and the fact you got a fight scene with a skeleton in the film with crazy wire work. It's just wonderful. You know, I'm a bit of a kind of, you know, as I've mentioned before on the channel, I'm a bit kind of iffy with some of the kind of supernatural horror-based kind of Hong Kong movies, and I've only seen a handful as I've kind of gone along with the kind of the Shaw Brothers and obviously leading into the Golden Harvest ones, and I'm happy to say this is definitely one of my favourites for sure. You know, nowhere near as good as Human Lanterns. I think that is just fantastic for very different reasons kind of thing. I think that's much more of a serious film that has wonderful kind of mixtures of kind of horror and kind of supernatural elements, and just pure lunacy in the sense of where that story goes kind of thing, and the haunting nature of the ending of that film. It's much more of a serious film. This is more of the 80s kind of alternative action pack. That's my thoughts and opinions on The Seventh Curse. Like complete bonkers thrill ride full of evil sorcerers, monsters, practical effects, humour, inspired kind of nature from Predator, Rambo, you know, war movies, just very Indiana Jones, and a lot of sequences, mystical temples, hidden traps, crazy kind of, you know, blood squibs, and if you like, you know, bow and arrows and shotgun blast practical effects, if you like great characters, if you like an all-star cast, if you like to see Maggie Cheung play something quite different, a nerdy kind of fun personality kind of character, with Chung Yun-fat as a kind of supporting kind of, you know, almost so like a advisory towards the kind of the mystical kind of nature of this film. Crazy kind of levels of kind of just practical effect natures and blood squibs and kind of gore effects, and just bonkers ideas kind of thing, all surprisingly mixed well together within this kind of cohesive 90-minute film that offers pretty much everything you want to see within a kind of a thrill-ride B-movie exploitation sort of inspired movie. The director definitely knows what he wants, definitely knows what he likes, he knows what the audience likes, and I can see why his film sells, I can see why his films live the test of time, I can see why 80 are definitely producing these fantastic, glorious deluxe editions and really kind of selling his kind of movies as the kind of like, you know, if you want something special, if you want something crazy and fun for a Saturday night, definitely check out his movies. And I absolutely would agree upon that within all of his movies, despite the quality, despite what kind of, you know, what you're in the mood for at the time. If you want something a bit more serious in terms of kind of the more spookier nature, definitely Human Lanterns, I think, definitely fits that category quite nicely. I think Mr. Vampire is a nice kind of even medium as well kind of thing in terms of the way he handles his humor, in terms of the way he handles his horror. But I think this is definitely the fun blockbuster B-movie action-packed thrill ride that it is. All-star cast, credible, fun movie. Turn your brain off, have some fun, and just laugh at the lunacy of this film has to offer. So yeah, The Seventh Curse delivered big time. So what are your thoughts and opinions, guys, on The Seventh Curse? Please comment down below. What are your favourite movies of the director, and what do you think of the Peacock King movies 1 and 2? Are they worth tracking down and trying to find? Please comment down below on that. So big time after the reviews.